Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Bangalore, and in this episode we will look at the bromeliad in general and the bromeliad Neurogelia anic in particular. The bromeliad is a tropical plant native to the tropical parts of the Americas. The best part of the bromeliad family is that the sheer diversity of the plants will astound you. You have the Spanish moss with its hair-like appearance, the pineapple with its savage thorns, and other such broad-spectrum plants belonging to the same Bromeliaceae family. The bromeliad is a largely epiphytic plant with exceptions like the pineapple that can grow in soil and the Spanish moss that can just survive absorbing moisture from the air. So the most common types of bromeliad you will encounter in your garden centers would be the Achemia type with those bloom spikes that come from the center of the plant, and the Neurogelia type that makes up for the lack of attractive flowers with these attractive and colorful foliage. So I took my own time studying the anic for a year, and the plant will come in this green and white variegation at first, and during the winters especially, the foliage will turn crimson. The flowers are found deep inside this groove, and the foliage color is primarily to attract the pollinators towards the flower. The groove will almost always act like a reservoir of water. In the wild, these grow on the tree barks under the shade of big trees. So the plant gets its nutrients majorly from the leaf that drop and rot, also the excreta from the tadpoles that make this their home. This variety is an epiphyte, which mostly means their roots must not be covered by soil. They need a lot of air around their roots to survive and thrive. So, a lot of us may not be experts at growing this on trees, so we can always start off with our regular containers. So, for container growing, you need really well draining potting medium. And don't worry, I'm using this broken container because over time, these plants will clump up and cover it. So for a good potting medium, add gravel at the bottom, then add some charcoal pieces that would give the bark element and imitate its natural habitat. Then some coconut husks, a drizzle of compost, and some sand, and finally coco peat. Now, while removing the plant, I found that the nursery folks grew this in a not so well draining potting mix. So you can either remove the soil around the roots and then add it, or just add it as is. Now again, backfill with more charcoal and coconut husks. And now water the plant. When I say that, I actually mean water the whole plant because the cup you see here must always be filled with water. Keep this in a semi-shaded bright sunlight location. So an interesting thing about this is that the more sunlight it gets, the more it would bring out this color. Almost all bromeliads give out flowers, then die out. Before that, they almost always give out pups like this. Some mother plants don't die so quickly like this one, which has given out pups but is still alive and kicking, but will perish over time. So you can either let these pups grow and fill up your entire container or take it out and repot. But I prefer keeping it in this container as is for now. So now let us look at some bromeliad top tips. Water. This is a tropical plant, so it likes the humidity you can provide, and maintaining the water in this cup is very important. Pipe water can leave sediments in it and could burn the plant. If you can collect rainwater and add it, then that is ideal. I have kept this on my terrace where it gets rainfall, so when it isn't raining, I make sure I water this with a hose in such a way that it accumulates water in its cups. To avoid mosquito breeding, you can flush out the old water with some fresh water every day. As a best practice, you can clean the cup with a high pressure water jet to avoid any problems that may arise due to water stagnation. Please don't use soap or any other chemical to clean the cup. In the natural world, the rain does the cleaning for this plant, so replicating this natural setting is important. You might think that this is a carnivorous plant, but this one is not. If an insect drowns accidentally in the water, then yes, the decaying gives this plant its nutrients. But like the other normal carnivorous plants, this does not have those digestive juices. However, there are carnivorous bromeliad varieties in the wild. Sunlight. Part shade is the prominent sunlight condition that a majority of bromeliads like. However, there are some exceptions to this rule with bromeliads like the pineapple that can do well in both full and part sun. Potting media must be well draining as mentioned above. Zero potting media and attaching it into trees can also work for this plant. This potting mix is so versatile that it is housing a purely terrestrial plant like these Gerbera saplings and the epiphytic Epidendrum orchid. Propagation is done by pup division. Fertilizing. This plant can survive with minimal fertilizing. Don't try adding liquid fertilizers into the cup because it could lead to leaf burning. Leave it to its devices and the plant will do well. You can add compost around the plant maybe once a year. So, folks, bring this plant home if you feel you have the ideal conditions to grow this amazing tropical plant. This can be grown indoors in a humidity rich, bright light location, but does better outdoors. So, with this, we've come to the end of yet another episode of Urbanscape Bangalore, and I really hope you've enjoyed this particular program. Additionally, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, the links will be given below. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again, a very warm goodbye.